You know, the average Christian dad is just this likable guy. He fits in. You know, it looks like everything is just right on the money. But the average Christian dad cannot answer key questions from their son or their daughter.
It's a very difficult, tenuous situation for fathers today.
What I found is that, from research, is that the average dad spends about 30 to 40 seconds a day with his children.
They're focused predominantly on work. That is their top focus, because they understand they have to take care of their family, they have to meet a whole parcel of needs.
One of the major challenges for fathers is that dads are exhausted at the end of the day.
After they come home from work, typically they're tired, they're stressed. They haven't really often shifted their mind to what's going on in the family. They want a little bit of time for themselves to get their batteries recharged before they have to go back out and slug it out again tomorrow.
The average Christian dad, they know everything about sports. They know this latest stats. They can tell about, who's in the top points of the, NASCAR. But when their son looks at them and says, "Dad, how did you know what God's perfect will was for your life?" They don't have an answer because they typically have never wrestled with those issues.
They don't get the attention of their kids like they used to. They don't get the respect of their kids like they used to. They find it difficult to relate to the music, the language, the games, the kinds of relationships, the dress styles of their kids. And frankly, for a lot of them, given all these other pressures and anxieties and stresses that they've got, they'd rather just avoid the whole thing and have a nice, pleasant night sitting on the couch watching TV, maybe with the kids present, and that's what passes as family time.
Our kids need to know we struggle. I think our kids need to know we are not perfect, and while we may appear to have it all together on the outside, sitting down and having one-to-one conversations, showing where we wrestle, where our areas of temptation are.
So many of us are first-generation Christians. We maybe didn't grow up with a model of a dad. Hopefully we did, but a lot of us didn't grow up with a model of a dad who was the spiritual trainer in the home. So we're having to figure this out ourselves.
And so what we've got to do is show dads that it's okay to acknowledge where you are, but it's time to work on where we want to be.
The starting point is getting our minds wrapped around the fact that God put me here to honor Him.
Now, I didn't grow up in a Christian home, so if somebody would have said to me D6 or quoted a verse early on in my life, I didn't have a context for it. But the way that I came to know Christ, frankly, was watching a family that lived out that Deuteronomy passage.
That passage in such a few short sentences really just hits home the whole idea of this is your job. Do it well. Don't stop doing it.
We don't have to be perfect. We don't have to come from a great background. We have to be willing to not take ourselves so seriously that we think we have to be some huge theologian.
We need to recognize that our truth, what we know and what we believe about God, is not going to be passed on just by living in the same room or through this osmosis. We need to be active, learning how they're thinking so that we can then teach them what the proper way is to think.
If kids are going to take cues from you, you can't give them what you don't have. So it starts with you getting your life together. You want to raise a spiritual champion, you be a spiritual champion. You want them to worship God, you worship God. You show them what it looks like. You show them how important it is to you. You show them what a difference it makes in your life. You want them to read the Bible, you better be reading it so that they see, oh wow, it doesn't just collect dust during the week. Mom and Dad use that thing.
So the key becomes, well, let's build that strong relationship, that life-on-life experience that Jesus did with His disciples, living it out with them. And in the process of that, and in loving the Lord, it's going to be contagious what they pick up from us.
So what I build into that life today isn't just about, I came home from work and I'm too tired to battle the kids. The battle is the game. Work is, forgive me, I work, we all need to work, but it's kind of irrelevant in the big scope of things. If I understand that the only reason I'm here is to honor God with every choice I make, with every breath that I take, then I have to think that, what I do with these children isn't just a throwaway. It's not just after-hours stuff that's optional. This is the most important stuff.